Hey everyone, today we're here with Jennifer Englert with the Orlando Law Group. My name is Suresh Harry Prashad, Florida Realty Investments. Today we're going to be talking about homestead exemption. I know it's a topic that you've heard about, you may not know much about, but Jennifer's going to clear some of that up. So we'll start with a question for Jennifer. What is homestead exemption, Jennifer?
Okay, the homestead exemption is something that, it's actually two things. The exemption itself gives every Florida homeowner who is a Florida resident $50,000 off of the assessed value of their home. Basically, we pay taxes on the assessed value of the home. If the home is a homestead for you, they subtract $50,000 off the value of your house before the state assesses taxes on it.
Right, so save a good amount of money on your taxes every year. Next question is, what are the requirements for claiming for homestead?
Okay, when you buy your home, usually your realtor will tell you about the homestead exemption. The title company might discuss it with you, but you definitely need to make sure that you get the information. You have to apply for it when you first purchase your home. Once you apply for it, you're set, but you do have to make sure that you apply. It's not an automatic. In order to qualify, you do have to be a Florida resident, which generally means have a Florida driver's license and make Florida your residence, permanent residence, even if you have a home in another state.
Great, okay. Next question is, do homeowners have to apply for homestead every year for the exemption?
You don't have to apply every year. However, if you have a change at any point, you do have to make a change with a property appraiser. So for example, this happens when people have they go and buy a second home and they keep their first home as a rental property. Or for example, if you have a family member pass away and it was their homestead, you do need to make sure that you go and change it from homestead to non-homestead, because otherwise the property appraiser will later come back and try to get the money back from you that you saved by the exemption. So the main driver is if you ever have a change in your homestead, either you make it your homestead or it's not your homestead anymore, you do need to let the property appraiser know.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question, what happens if you're the owner of a homestead and you remarry?
Okay, so homestead is great because you have that exemption, but the homestead law also impacts people who get married and probate. So that's if people don't plan for it appropriately, that's one of the reasons why they have to come see a lawyer. When you have a homestead property and you remarry, generally, as long as it's paid in full, there are no changes. However, if you are somebody who has a homestead and you still need to use funds to pay a mortgage, or if you put a pool in, you put some sort of improvement to the home, or you spend any of the marital money, which is once you get married together, all the money is marital, considered to be marital by the courts, then your new spouse could potentially get a portion of the value of the home. So again, there's prenups and postnups. There's lots of things you can do for that. But if you have any questions, it's time to see a lawyer before you get married so that you could plan appropriately. Because a lot of people don't know about how the homestead affects remarriage. Because marriage is one of the things that triggers a homestead right in a property.
Yeah, so there are a lot of different things that can change along the way with that.
Exactly.
Okay. Next question, if someone's parents have passed away, what would happen to their homestead?
Okay, so that's when homestead kicks in, your homestead does not pass through your probate. So a lot of people know what probate is or don't know what probate is. They know they don't want it. So a homestead is not part of your probate estate, and that's something with Florida, with the homestead law. It actually goes outside of your estate and it passes through the law. So if you're married, and you have either minor children or your spouse has, all the kids are yours together, it goes right to your spouse. However, if you are married and you have adult children, then it passes to the spouse and the adult children. So when your parents pass, it generally passes to all of your siblings and you. Or if they're remarried, then it passes half to the new husband or wife and half to you and your siblings. So again, it's a little bit complicated, but if you plan for it right, it really isn't. So again, that's where you could do something like a post-nup or a prenup, or your estate planning, or you put them all together to have what you want. Some people with remarriage, because that happens a lot now, they want their home to go to the kids, and everybody's fine with that. But if you don't plan appropriately, it will go through the homestead law, and it will go partially to the spouse that you left behind. So all these things are things that people just really don't know about homestead. If you use it the right way, it's awesome. You just need to make a few tweaks in your estate plan, and it's easy.
Awesome. So there are some very good points about homestead exemption. Jennifer, do you want to add anything else about that, maybe? Or
I think just make sure that you know about the different ways that homestead impacts you, like I said, especially in remarriage, and especially if you have siblings, several siblings that are out, that are living in other states, or if you have siblings that have passed and then their portion goes to nieces and nephews. Again, it's not super complicated to take care of, but if you have a parent and a lot of siblings, check with a lawyer to see how best to take care of things so that you don't end up having to spend a lot of money on attorneys and courts.
okay, great. Well, thank you. If you guys have any questions whatsoever regarding this, please reach out to Jennifer Englert with the Orlando Law Group. And of course, you can always reach out to me. My name is Suresh Hariprasad with Florida Realty Investments, and I'd be happy to help as well. Thank you, and for watching. Okay, take care.